you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and we're down in my workshop. It's 7:15 in the morning. The sun will be up in about 10-15 minutes, so I quickly set everything up to try to check out this Sony, whatever, loop antenna. This is the little control box, I'll call it. It's a tuner. It's the ANLP1. And like I said in my previous video, I've been waiting for the overall shortwave band conditions to improve. And from my nice lady who does the space weather, her latest video says they're not going to improve for a while and they'll probably get worse. So I thought, what the heck? I'm going to just come out here and see what happens. So like I say, I'm out in my workshop. It's a less RF noise environment. I don't have all the computers on and all the other junk I got in my office creating noise, so it's a little better from that standpoint. So today we're going to use the Texan PL660, which I believe is the same radio that my friend who's now over in China used with his Sony loop antenna and showed a significant improvement in the signal. So we're just going to see what happens. No guarantees of conditions or anything. I'm going to see if I can zoom in the camera a little bit so you can see, maybe see the S meter on the radio. I say maybe. Now, temporarily, let me show you something here. Okay, here's my setup. Let me zoom the camera around. So up there is the loop for the loop antenna, and I've got the noise limiter module plugged in the bottom right now. I'll take it out later and see what the effect is. I did check to see if my lighting I have in here was causing much interference, and it doesn't appear to be, but who knows. Let me move my chair around here a little bit so I can get the camera a little closer. Okay, trying to get in, zoomed in on that display. I don't know if I'm going to be successful or not. Let me see. I'm getting there. Okay. Is that thing dirty or what? Just some kind of reflection. But there you should see the S meter. Maybe. I'll sit down and point it out if I don't trip. Oh, tight fit here. Okay, let's get the old scooter moving and get myself back over here. Whoa, I can reach it. That's the only problem with this scooter. It's got a mind of its own. Okay, let me flip the viewfinder over here and move the radio down a little bit. I don't know if the S meter is showing up right now. It's full scale right now. I'm on WWV. I'm using the built-in telescopic antenna with the Texan PL660. Let's turn the volume up. Yeah, it's pretty poor. See, that's the thing about the S meter is it in some cases it's not really telling you anything useful, because if there's a whole bunch of noise, it's going to be full scale, but there's no signal there. So I think, as one person pointed out, the more important factor is the signal to noise. You know, how much signal are you getting relative to the noise? And right now, we're getting a lot of noise. And it's in and out, in and out. Now the sun is just starting to come up. Let's go to 10 megahertz. 10 megahertz dead. No noise, no signal, nothing. Now, what I saw on the space weather chart earlier this morning was that there was one band that at that time, and it was probably several hours ago, that was good, and that was the 30 to 20 meter band. The other bands were either fair, which to me means poor, or poor, which means awful to me. So we're just going to tune around. Now that we're on 10 megahertz and not getting anything. Now the noise is down, because sometimes the S meter is 0. It's going from 0 to 1, which on this one in the scale is 0 to 5. So now we're going to plug in the Sony loop antenna with preamp. And the noise level goes through the roof. And let's see if we got it tuned. Okay, one thing I've noticed that I didn't know, and of course the instructions that came with this particular loop antenna was all in, I guess, Japanese, because it's comes from Japan, it's made in Japan. So I don't have any instructions, but it appears when I've been using it is the little dial here. Where are we? I can't see this on camera. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, the little dial here is, it looks like it's got notched positions. It's not it doesn't appear to be continuous tune. So that makes it a little easier to tune. From the standpoint, you just pick, the closest frequency, which right here is 10 megahertz, so that's right on. And it's tuned. So there's no sitting there fiddling with it. That's how it appears to work. And like I said before, this doesn't tune, this is just the reel to take up. Okay, so let's go back to the noise. Full noise. And now I'm gonna reach up, you won't be able to see, it's off camera. I'm gonna reach up and rotate the loop antenna because it is directional. So I'm rotating it now. And there is no WWV whatsoever, which is what I've been experiencing in the past. Now let's go down to 5 megahertz where we had something. And I'm going to unplug it first, so we'll start with that condition. And we got a whole bunch of noise. We're bouncing between S, or whatever the units are. It's not S units. We're bouncing between 3 and 5, and mainly on 5. And this is using the telescopic antenna. And the signal's there, but there's a lot of noise. So now we're going to plug in the loop antenna. Noise is gone totally, it wiped it out. And now we got to tune to 5. I'll show you here. Okay, there's the signal. And it's coming in pretty good, but I don't really see even improvement. And it's full scale. Boy, I got fingerprints on this thing. So now I'm going to set this down and I'm going to rotate the antenna, see if it makes a difference. Yeah, it makes a difference. About there's the strongest, which the antenna is pointing, the flat side of the round antenna is pointing in the direction of where that station is in Colorado, I believe Colorado. So yes, the antenna is directional, and it's moving. I have to hold it to keep from keeping it from going to a direction I don't want. So right about there, it's pointing in what you would think would be the right direction. We turn the volume up a little bit. Okay, there's perpendicular. There's parallel. Now, what I'll do is I unplugged it from the loop, and this is the little noise filter, supposedly. I'm going to take that out of the circuit and plug the cable directly to the antenna. And as best I can tell, the noise level has gone up. When I took this noise attenuator out. So it was helping. I'll put it back in. I'll turn the volume back up. Okay, the antenna is disconnected. I'll plug in the attenuator. Plug that back into the antenna. And that does seem to help. Signal seems, I don't know if the signal went up any or just the noise went down. Probably just the noise went down. Again, band conditions are terrible. Now let's go up, let's see if there's anything on 15 megahertz. Nothing. And that's kind of what you would normally expect, at least in my location, is that early in the morning, I get the lower bands, like 3 megahertz up to 7 megahertz, stronger in the morning. And then as the day goes on, the area in which I'm received best moves up in frequency. And then like in late afternoon, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's up around 15 megahertz. And then at night, it widens out, and it's pretty much the whole band at night. So we're not getting anything at 10, we're not getting anything at 15. Now let's go down to somewhere in the area, just in the area of 30 meters to 20 meters, which they said should be good. Or, yeah, it should be good. That, of course, that was 3 hours ago. So let's go down to 9 megahertz. And we'll see what we can find. So we gotta retune this. We'll set it on 10. Got a lot of noise. Lots of noise. So that's what I was afraid of. I think that's China radio. Again, this just has detents at these intervals showed on the dial here. So if I try to tune down, it doesn't do anything until it gets to the next position. In this case is 7 megahertz, or I can go up to 12. Ten seems to be the best. That's because it's closest to what I've tuned is 9.50. Full scale, lots of noise.
Currently confined to plants and animals, but the hope is that one
That's
day
good.
it could help uncommon or genetic diseases.
9.575.
Sickle cell that's caused by a single gene defect.
The technology is moving very fast.
I'm not sure what that is. I don't have my cheat sheet. Okay, well, let's experiment with that one. It's full scale. I'm using the preamplifier. I'm going to unplug the external antenna. It went down maybe 1 unit, but it's still very strong. So it's a strong station.
It only worked in a pair of embryos. The others developed mutations. So many
Now
were
that's
excited by the prospect.
when I plugged in the loop antenna. It went from a number 4 on the scale to 5. The noise didn't seem to get any better. Maybe it got a little less. So it made some improvement. Let's go on in the band here.
Rather than later. To be able to say that.
There we go. That's 9.810. Change the bandwidth there. Okay, I'll rotate the antenna. Not a lot of effect on rotating it. On full scale, let me unplug it. Oh, that goes way down. Plug it back in. It goes way up, but the noise level went up. Let's tune a little bit more. That's 9.870. That could be Radio Habana, maybe. Now, Spencer told me that some of the Texan radios also have the capability of energizing the little tuner here, and I have this on the off/standby position, and when I turn the radio on, let me turn it off, see if you can see this. I don't know if it's going to show up or not. I'm going to turn the radio off, and it goes off. So the Texan radios also have that capability of enabling this device. Now, what I did notice, and maybe I didn't understand what I had heard, if I take the batteries out, the light doesn't come on, and I'm assuming that therefore it's not drawing power from the radio, but it does control it as far as on off. And like I said, right now I've got it in the off position /standby, and depending on whether the radio is on or the radio is off, the light will be on, assuming that means it's energized. So that's it. Like I say, I didn't expect very good results because the space weather conditions are still hampering shortwave reception. It's now 7:34 and the sun has risen, and so the band conditions are affected by that sun being up. So that's the show for today. If you got anything out of this show, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and I'm down in my workshop, and amazingly enough, my bench is still fairly clean, except for what I'm going to try to show you today. We're going to do some more experimenting. I was going to say testing, but it's really just experimenting with this MFJ model 904H Deluxe Travel Tuner with SWR and watt meter and balun. And I talked to a couple of people that are a lot more knowledgeable about radios, stuff like that, to see if what I'm going to attempt is okay. In other words, I won't damage anything and I won't get false readings. And the best advice was just try it. That's what the hobby is about, is trying things. So what we're going to do is I've got my external antenna, which is just a long wire antenna. It's about 35 to 40 feet. I keep changing that number because I go out and I try to measure it from the ground, and I get my guess keeps changing. But I think it's about 40 feet. And I'm hooking it up to this MFJ 226 antenna analyzer. It's good from 1 to 230 megahertz. And it will give me a bunch of meetings. Oh, brother. A bunch of readings. And the one that I'm most familiar with is SWR. So what I'm going to attempt to do is tune this piece of wire antenna using this antenna tuner right here. So the analyzer is going to be my source for power to the tuner box out to the antenna. Now, it's not, this analyzer doesn't put out much power, so I may get some incorrect readings because of that. I don't know. I just don't know. But what I will try to do is I'll play around with this, and that's what I'm doing. It's playing around, using the analyzer, and look and see what kind of settings I have to use to get this thing to tune. And then, if it still works, I'll try my ICOM 706 and see how it does. Because it can put out 100 watts, which I wouldn't use. I'll probably use like maybe 5 watts. But it'll get me some deflection on this meter here, which this little guy, I don't think he's going to put out that much power so that this guy can even read it. So we're just going to try, going to experiment. And unfortunately, I really need somebody to handle the camera for me because I'll be moving back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the analyzer. It's hooked up to my computer, which will give me a nice big display of what's going on, much more than trying to capture this display on my video camera. So I'm going to move the camera around. Again, if I had somebody doing the camera for me, I could move back and forth smoothly, but it's going to be kind of jumpy with me doing it. So anyway, let's see if I can point to the computer. Let me get my chair out of the way here so I don't trip over it. So let me move the camera around here, stand by. If all of a sudden this video goes blank, it's because I knocked the camera over and it broke. And we'll span up. So there's the, I'm on an angle here. So there's the monitor. And I was looking for the manual for this because I printed it out before and I left it upstairs, I guess. So that's why we were here. So we're going to go down here and start this program that works with this analyzer. And see if we can get it full screen. And okay, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see my screen. I could zoom in, but then you wouldn't see everything. So I'm going to turn the analyzer on, push and hold the power button. Okay, it's on. Then I have to go down and select PC mode. Okay, now it says it's waiting for the computer to start talking to it. So I'll start this. Actually, what I'll do is, first I'll load a file that I saved. Oh gosh, where'd it go? Jeez. Okay. Oh, brother. Oh, it's under downloads, analyzer, short HF antenna test 1. I saved that. I did that test a few minutes ago with the external antenna connected directly to the meter. And if this works, I should be able to bring it up and see the plot. Okay, here's the plot. And I'm going to look at the camera here. And, oh boy, it doesn't show up very good. What I'm looking at doesn't show up very good. Let's see if we can zoom in here. There we go. Zoom back out. So this is the plot of the antenna by itself. And I did the test. It's funny, it doesn't tell you where... oh yeah, I guess I can tell down here. Down here, I started the sweep at 3 megahertz and went to 30 megahertz. Now, for today, I want to tune the amateur band around 7 megahertz. So I want to tune this antenna to be best at 7 megahertz. Now, if I look here, and I don't have a pointer down here, if I look down here, and I have to stand on my head. Now, the one thing I noticed about this program, when I'm looking at a saved file, I can't adjust any of the parameters. I don't think. What if I hit start? No, probably not. Okay, so I want to, I wish I could sit down, but my chair is too big to put in front of the camera. Oh, here we go. Okay, I wanted to go to about 7 megahertz, which is back here. That's about up here. That says 7.085, and the SWR is 17. Not very good. So we're gonna, now we're hooked up with the antenna analyzer, the antenna tuner, and I have done a little bit of tuning. So now if I turn the analyzer on, we can see what kind of improvement I got around 7 megahertz. So let's start that right now. Okay, mouse, come back to life. Okay, now it's running, and I got to change the scale. It doesn't save the setup. At least not. Okay, I want to go from 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz initially. Now this tuner is only good for one frequency, essentially, because you want to adjust the tuner so that the antenna is best at a given frequency or a short band of frequencies. So right now, wherever I left the tuner set up, I can come over to 7 megahertz, which is about there, and that's where I tuned it. I already cheated and I already tuned it. So you can see the SWR, if I can just slide over, let me change the scale here. Let's go from 7 to 8 megahertz. But you can see down in here, around 7 megahertz, the SWR goes way down, which it didn't before. And let's go to 8. And we'll wait for a second for it to do a new sample. And so it's going to blow all this up. There, okay, there it is. So we got a nice low SWR in the around 7 megahertz. And if I can get my cursor over here, right there, at 7.52, the SWR is 1.13. Well, that's still a little high. I want to get it down, so let's just say 7.2 megahertz. So I need to do some adjusting. So the process, as outlined in the manual, is you first select a setting for the inductance. And that kind of gets it in the ballpark, which I've done already. Then you adjust the antenna and alternately the transmitter controls to move it around. So I'll try that right now. I'm adjusting the transmitter, and I have to wait until this does a refresh. Okay, it moved, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go down close to here. Matter of fact, let me try to select 7.2. That's pretty close right there. So this is where I want to get this lowest SWR reading. So I'm going to continue to adjust it. Again, I have to wait for the analyzer to take a sample, which it did. I'm getting closer. Okay, I'm getting closer. I'm almost there. Just turn it a little bit more and wait. I hope this is showing up on the camera. That's close enough. Okay. Now, I don't know the interaction between transmitter control and antenna. I haven't touched the antenna, so let's just see. I'm going to turn this up. Let it sample. Okay, it went down a little more. Now wait and let it sample. Didn't change much. I'll make a big change here. Okay, it went down further. Now, yeah, it's going down further. The SWR is getting lower, but it's a little higher frequency. Let's see where it is. Where is the lowest point? It's about there. So it's about 7.24. So by adjusting the antenna now, I've gotten the SWR to go down even more. So now it's at 7.24. It's a 1.24 SWR. Let me just see, when we tune it a little more and see what it does. Went down even more. Nope, it went too far. Okay, I'm going to come back on the setting for the antenna. Right there seems to be best, but now I'm a little off frequency. So let me see if I adjust the transmitter setting, if I can pull it back to 7.2. Nope, went the wrong way. Gotta wait. Okay. Let's move this back to 7.2 approximately. Which is way back up here, about there. So I gotta move it back considerably. There we go, getting close now. And I'm adjusting the transmitter adjustment on the tuner. Okay, that's pretty close. So I was able to use this tuner, and I was able to get to the frequency I want with the lowest SWR I could get. And the frequency is 7.208. The SWR is 1.22, which is good. For me, anything with a SWR of less than 2 is good. And that, again, this is just on this piece of wire. And as I said before, I'm not really improving the antenna itself. I'm improving the match between the radio, in this case it's the analyzer, and the antenna, so that you get maximum transfer power to your antenna, regardless of what it is. So by using this analyzer, I kind of simulated using my transmitter. Again, the analyzer only puts out milliwatts of power. So the meter, the SWR meter, and I can zoom down to it, is, let's see, camera up, camera left, camera don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit. The needles have not moved because I'm putting so little power into the tuner right now. And so what I'll do in a follow-up show is I'll get my ICOM 706 working, tune it to 7.2 in this case, and set it to about 5 watts, and then we'll see what the power meter does, and we'll see if I get a low SWR like I am with the analyzer. So the big test here is to see if I can use an analyzer to set up the tuner beforehand before hooking it to a transmitter. So that's the show. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for everyone that I consulted about doing this test and their help. Bye-bye.